Hello, I'm Renee Meriste and you're watching BOBE Taught Me.
So, as I understand, you started working in an entertainment industry pretty soon. At the age of 15, you were organizing first parties and events, and also working with bands. What drew you to the entertainment industry to begin with?
I think I loved all my life music. Always, music. I listened so much music. I have an older brother, 7 years old, so I listened so much music. And I got 15. It was 1990, so Estonia and all the Baltic states kind of were in the way to become free. So I think I saw an opportunity to do something, and school events was the first great thing to do. So and then these days that the capitalism was early, and it was really fun, and people wanted to party because before that you couldn't have so many parties. So it was just so interesting, to see, and that's how it started. Yeah, and by the way, when I was 19 years old, I was already managing I was actually accountant for the biggest band in Estonia at the time, and when I was 20, I was managing the bands with the biggest band in Estonia at that time. So,
What was the name of the band?
Naskond, just like a punk rock band, and yeah, we played. Already, like always, they have to put everything into perspective, like what was available in that time. We played one of the biggest Finnish rock festival, Ruis Rock, with that band. And so, it was a punk in Estonian language, but we played there. And, then it was so much fun, and I wanted to create my own life or my own world. So I started to manage more bands, started to release more music. And my dream was to take Estonian bands outside of Estonia. And first we got some bands to play in Latvia, obviously that's close by, and I started to go to music conferences in Germany and in France, and then I had my record label in Estonia. We released over 50 albums a year, so basically every week was a record release. Then I took three Estonian artists to Germany. It was Vanilla Ninja and then Euro and Maria. And then they all were top 40, and then I wanted to see more the world and learn more. It's entertainment world or music world. It's changing every day, so you have to learn, and I love learning. So I went from there. I moved to UK for a little bit after living in Germany 3 years, and then I went to Los Angeles. Now I've lived in Los Angeles the last 13 years, and that's the capital of entertainment world. So it's much fun.
It's quite a journey. Have you ever wanted to be a musician yourself, or you feel very good, like making all the paths and all the opportunities for the musicians possible?
I wanted to be a musician when I was 12 years old. That came before the 15. I was actually a singer and playing bass for the punk band when I was 12. And obviously in a punk band, I didn't know much to play, and I couldn't get the tune, but it was a lot of fun. But no, I like that. I think, after I really started to work, I've never wanted to do it because I like the visions and I like the work, and it's an amazing feeling when you start something from zero, and they say from zero to hero. Yeah. And you have been the guy behind the scenes. That feels good. I don't need to be on stage. Nobody needs to know me. I'm okay.
You were born in Estonia, and you were raised there and studied there, and also abroad. We just heard your amazing journey, and now you've been in Los Angeles for 13 years. What would you say are the biggest differences in this entertainment industry in Europe, in Baltics, and obviously in US, where there's such a large market?
I think these days, the difference, it's the same, like it's a changing business. But these days, I think the biggest difference is that in America, you don't get any like government support. So in Europe, we all know as a part of EU, you get like EU money to go to the conferences, to tour, like so many options. In one way, I think it's really good because it gives the opportunity. But I think it should be used only for education and to learning. But you shouldn't get support. Now I'm saying which people don't like. But you shouldn't get support when you go to commercial touring. And why is that? Is that it will take your focus away. Like I'm seeing now when we have social media last 10 years, you know, where people are saying, oh, I have to do this, you know, I have to apply to that support. Like, who cares? Your fans don't want to know you want support. Like, you know what I mean? And that takes your mentality. So instead of like focusing on your career and work and fans, the managements and the artists are like, oh, now I have to apply. After you apply and get the money, then you have to report how you spend it. And then you have to apply again. So it's like a lot of time it takes the focus away. But I'm 100%, I support it if it's education and conferences. But yeah, as a commercial project, I think it takes your focus away. And now if we're talking about other differences is that every country has their own, like the percentage of their own language music, whatever it is, you know, Estonia, Latvia music, you know, and US, and compared to Europe now, US is like a global, it's a global, you know, we have so much Latin music already, so much, you know, African American music, we have K-pop stores in Los Angeles, you know, so it's like we have so much more compared to the European, like, because, you know, and especially the small countries, you know, I don't think you can have a K-pop store in Estonia or Latvia, you know, people don't probably buy enough to keep the store, but, you know, in Los Angeles, it's full of people, you know, it's hard to get in. Yeah. So it's I think that's the biggest, that the competition is so high, like, and when the competition is high, you need to be more creative, and that's, you know, when the competition is low, like in the Baltic states, people are losing the sparkle, or you know, their eyes don't sparkle anymore because they somehow will become, you know, it's not that it's easy, but it's compared to the big world, it's easy how you become successful. And then you don't, you know, you lose the moment to be creative. So I think in the bigger markets or in US, you have to be always like creative. And you have to have a bigger teams who will believe in you, like filters. And by filter I mean like somebody who believes, like you have more people who believe and support you. Like in a lot of cases in small countries, Latvia, Estonia, you can sometimes do it even without the management, you know, for your own country. But over there you need somebody who will talk about you, will believe in you, like the filters who will support you. So I think that's the biggest with small countries. And but yeah, the main difference for all Europe and US is that US doesn't have any like government, state, city money behind support you. And
a lot of artists have this dream of big breakthrough in the global market, obviously also in the US, and bands and musicians from smaller countries like Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, they of course dream of the break in the Europe that would preferably end up in a bigger break globally, yet not that many bands or musicians are able to do so. How do you feel in the modern age of social media and YouTube and all the tools that we have right now? Is it possible for musicians from the small countries to actually do that?
Absolutely. I think that the possibility is way bigger than before. But one thing which we forget in small countries is that you have to work. And you have to work a lot because, you know, you have to understand that it's hard. That, let's say you make whatever, I don't know, 500 or 1,000 euro a concert here in the Baltic states. And then you go to the bigger market, let it be Germany, and nobody knows you. You don't make anything. So it's investment of work and money to do it, and then you miss the money and you are famous. You know, I worked, you know, with people when they're so famous and they go, oh, I'm not famous here, and then it's like, oh, depression, stress, you know, I need bills. So it's, you know, you have to put the work in, and that's the toughest part, which people don't want to do. But the option is way better because not too many people will put work in. The same answer, because it's same goes. overall the social media has kind of like started to be like a mirror that we want that our friends will accept and like and say we are good. But you know, your friends will anyway think you're good. So why do you look for that? If you're an artist, you want your non-friends to like you, to like your music. So the social media gives you a lot of times like a wrong view. Because you did a bad song, but your friends say it's good and you think it's good, but actually nobody wants to hear it if they're not your friends. So, you know, and then people don't work as much and then they're not as much creative. Like, you have to put way more in. So the option is better, but you have to work hard, and that's hard.
And a big part of that is also the management, agents who help the band to do so. You have helped a lot of musicians and bands yourself, and you keep doing that. The question is, what is the modern music management today?
Oh, it's everything. You are like a mother. You are like your parent, your financials, your creative, your marketing, like it's everything. But again, the management, one of the first things when I started to go to the music conference in the 90s was one older manager said that never work more than your artists do. Because you know why you will work if the artist doesn't work. And I think that's again comes back to my previous talk, is that the artist must work to have that team around. If the artist doesn't put work in, then it's like, why do I put work in? Because in the end you will fire me anyway. No, because that's the truth. The truth is that, you know, if you make zero, it's easy to give away that you will get the percentage. When you make million, it's like, oh, why this guy is getting that money? So, you know, you will fire me anyway. So it's like, why I have to do it if you don't work? Yeah. So everything is about work ethics and the amount of work you put in. And the team will come around you if you show that you will work. Mm-hmm. If you show you don't work, nobody will support you.
Do you feel like it is possible for bands to operate without a manager till some point, and maybe it's even advisable to do so? What are your thoughts on that?
Really in a small level. I mean, I would prefer that everybody has a manager, even if you're 15 years old. Let your class or friend be a manager, because every person has 24 hours a day. And you need to sleep and eat, and you know, it's just, as soon as you have manager, you have somebody who will put more hours to your career. As soon as you have agent, that's why you need a team. So, I mean, if you can, definitely have a manager from day one, and it will also help you to grow, meaning that as a human, you know how to build a relationship. You have to listen that somebody will say it's a bad song, instead of, oh, all my friends liked it. Like, you have to trust somebody who will be the manager, that, you know, it's a good song. Because now again, if you take the history back, the bands needed to, in order to go to studio, they needed to have somebody to believe them. Somebody who put money. Was it manager, was it record label, whoever it was, somebody believed. And a lot of times the bands needed to write 40 songs to get 10 released on the album. But these days is, you know, I'm at home, I have a computer, that's a song, and that's online now. But it's not a good song. Yeah. Like, oh no, but look at my friends. All my 100 friends liked it and said, awesome. Yeah, okay. I don't, you know, that's what I mean. So it's, yeah, you can't. You have to have people who trust, who will support. Mm-hmm. And it will help you to grow and navigate as a human and relationship and how the work should go.
Yeah. I understand that managers are doing a lot, but what would be in your opinion, the top 3 tasks for a manager? Because as you said, if there's a new band who want to work on their material, they ask their friend to be their manager, and that would mean that they probably won't be able to be the mother at that point. What would be the starting points for a manager for a band?
I think, you know, first is to, again, work hard. But every artist, I always ask, the people ask, what do you ask from the artist? Excuse me. I ask artists that you should have a vision. What will happen? Where do you want to be in 1 year, 5 years? But that artist must do. And manager now comes in and makes his vision around that vision. And together they will start to build it. Like the worst part to me is where I always say I can't help is when the artist doesn't have a vision. Because like what can I do? Just to call you, have some concert, and I have to build you everything. Like the artist needs to be a creative, at least a creative driving side, and then the manager will come and start to build it. So I think that's the key, and that's again the same thing, because it's so easy to make music. A lot of artists don't have the vision at all. They just say, "Oh, let's see what happens." Like I will tell you, nothing will happen. Like that 100 friends liking doesn't mean anything. When you can say that you are something, is that you sell something. The income stream starts. That means you sell either tickets, you sell products, or you will be listened so many times that the income comes. Before that, those likes are useless.
So for young and aspiring music and band producers, what would your advice be? Like, ask for a band if they have a vision?
No, yeah, absolutely. You have to, like, you can, if you have to work more than the artist, then probably it's the wrong artist for you. Like you need to have the artist must know what they want, and the artist is willing to listen you when you say that doesn't work. Because if they don't trust you, then you can't work together. Like if you know, so it's always a little bit, the chicken and the egg thing, but who was first, but it's always good. The key is trust, and then you can start building what kind of advice. But you have to have somebody who trusts that if you pick the band should trust you what to do, and obviously you should trust the band what they do. And if that trust doesn't exist, then you can't do anything. And if the trust is there, you can do everything. It's completely the opposite, because everything is possible.
You also, today you present a book, You Are the Influencer. What is behind the name, You Are the Influencer? Because influencers are a pretty hot topic right now.
Yeah, because I think the biggest influencers are the musicians and the artists and managers. But they have lost their space to the social media and YouTubers and who else. And they have lost it because they got so comfortable 20 years ago. And they didn't realize that there's a new and more interesting people coming. Because if you take social influencers or YouTubers, why they are so successful, I have 2 kids, so I see, every day. That's why I say it's changing every day. You have to follow. They are more interesting than the musicians a lot of times. They talk better. They have better image. Their stories are more interesting. There's so much to learn from them, and as a manager or as a musician, you could actually, they should be ahead of that. Because right now it's interesting that in America, I mean not in our countries yet, but in America, you can buy like social media stars merch in the stores, and they sell more than music because they're more interesting people. Yeah. And their managers are the same, their agents are the same as the pop stars. They all have, so because the managers will go where the money is, because they need the income. So, and if it's social media stars makes more, they will go there. And, we have like in Los Angeles is a big venue called Staples Center, it's 18,000 people. And, you can sell out the guy alone playing a computer game, $80 a piece, in 1 hour. So there is 20,000 people willing to pay $80 to come to see one guy playing a computer game. So obviously he does something better than the musicians. But the musicians have actually way stronger if they work hard and be creative, because music has always been part of politics, like revolutions or whatever, us becoming free, Music is an important thing, but it's just that we lost the momentum in good times, and, we could get it back. Music is the biggest influencer everywhere.
Yeah. At the same time, for example, in America, there is way more people to work with. There are all these interests can be met, and there are people who will go and look at the person playing a video game. At the same time, if we go back to Baltics, we have a way smaller market. So how how do you, as a manager and as a band, find your angle where to start from? Because if you're a band in Latvia, Estonia, or Lithuania, obviously your starting point will be here, and you need to.
You have to be special. You have to be creative. Like if you're just doing whatever people have already seen, then nothing's gonna happen. Like you have to have the good song is a must. It's not like maybe you can have a good song. It's a must to have a good song, and and not from your friends like song, but people who don't know you will tell you it's a good song, and you must have your story, because people always follow the stories. They listen to the lyrics. Why they have to follow it. So you have to know what's so interesting about you. It's not, like I said before, the filter was good before. Like in order to go to record, somebody believed you, somebody gave you the money to record a song. That means that you had the filter, and now you just made a song, maybe in your bedroom or parents' house, and there is no filter, and then you're like, why they don't listen to me? I'm so good, but you're not. That's why they don't listen. So it's like, first of all, you have to be special, creative, and good. If you are all those three, then you can start to build. And not in your mind, but other people should think that you're good.
So I'm guessing you go point by point in your book here about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I wrote the book stories that when I started to go outside from Estonia, I started to make notes always, like, what did I learn? And then last year I decided that it's time to put it in a book, because then book like that doesn't exist. In Estonia we didn't have any music business books, but in the world all the books to me are boring and long. And then I wanted to make a short book to the point where you can easy to read, that everyone who will read it will understand. And the feedback has been great. Like even parents read it, email me back, oh, now I know how the music is, like business people, or who wants to become a manager, or even musicians, because they now know way more about the business. And shortly, it was interesting. My goal was to do as short book as possible, not as long. So.
And where can people purchase this book?
Right now it's available only in Estonia in English, but it will be in Amazon digitally next year.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, but right now you can physically get it from Estonia, or email me. Yeah.
And one last question is, I guess it's a bit more to do with life in general than music specifically. If you could change one thing in the world, what would it be?
In the world, one thing. I think one thing I could change is that let's all be friends. Let's work together more. It's all about, everything is life is about relationship, not like a love relationship, but everything in the business, in everyday life, it's about relationship. And let's get along. Let's leave your egos home and let's get along.